Hello and welcome back to another PowerShell video. Recently we've been looking at components, just adding them to a form, not really doing much with them, just adding them, not really manipulating them. So today we're going to be looking at the checked boxes. So I'll just press play on here so you can see what we're talking about and jump straight in. So here's our form with a checked list box behind it and 3 checked boxes on top of it. So it's actually 2 separate components. In total it's 4 components. So we'll see how we did it. So we set up the main form like we did before, so we won't go into that. We'll get straight into this part. So we've got a new object here, checked list box, and we're assigning it to that variable there. And then we're creating 3 new checkboxes like you saw on there. So checkbox 1, 2 and 3. We're setting the location, auto size and border style of the checkbox control, which is the checklist box. And then we're going to add the items to it. So we're adding first, second and third to this. So it's just items, and then the function upon that is add, just to add them into that. And then what we're doing here, we're going to set the set item checked to equal true. So this is a for loop, and it's going through the amount of times, so that's the count of how many items are in the checked list box, and we're going to set it to true. So in other words, they're all going to be ticked. We're just going to set these properties here, so we're setting the text and the location for all 3 of them, and then we're setting we've already set the border style, so we didn't really need to do that. And then we're going to add them to the form, because if we don't add them to the form, they won't appear. And I'm just going to put a breakpoint on here so we can see what's going on. So if I toggle the breakpoint there, press play, and we can see that should be 3. So we've got 3 items in there. And we've got the items is first, second and third, and that's the control there with all the properties on there. So we can actually see what kind of functions we get on this. So if I just copy that here, you can do this in the editor when it's not playing, but at this point here we're just going to see what we've got available. As you can see by the scroll bar, there's loads and loads available. So you'd have to look on Microsoft sites for a definition of all of these, but there's various different properties that you can use, including the items, items, and you can look at each individual one. Item 0 is first, so remember it's 0 based, so you can just look at these. So you can do items.add, or you can do add range, so you can use a record set to add to that, or just an array. You can do add range, and you can add them in one go rather than, as I've done it there, adding them 1, 2 and then 3. Carry on pressing play on that by just hitting F5, and you can see here there's no functions behind these, but what you would do is on the add click of these controls you can put a function upon that. So therefore if you've got things to do on first, you can select first, click a button, and then you can say if the selected item is first, then do whatever you want to do first. So there you go, you can build up your building blocks slowly and create the whole script of the whatever you desire to program. So there we have it, a little bit more in depth with that one. At the end of the day, it's just displaying the checkboxes. Okay, see you in your next video.